What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, as you've all likely heard by now and seen by now, my doggy, Paddy Pimblett. Yeah, never mind no Pimblett. Pimblett, 100% some French thing. Paddy Pimblett and Molly McCann rolled up and smoked on their opposition's packs nicely. And, like I told you, man, before, we don't really cover UFC here, but the way boxing be going out, all the way sad, we must touch on certain topics. These two dudes right now, or the dude and the female, Molly and Paddy, they are what we call KILLING in the game right now. The whole shtick, the whole socio-political economic shtick they got going on, I'm down for it. People who follow my old channel will know that there was a time I was in love with Muck Tapper. Me and him had a long, well, he didn't know about it, but you best believe me and him had a long love affair. Yeah, obviously back in 2013, 2014, it was kind of different back then. McGregor sucked me in. He was more of a combat pugilist as such. I don't get that kind of vibe with these two. Like, I'm not feeling, their whole vibes is different, but it's the same kind of principle. It's attractive. It sucks you in. You want to see where it's going. Now, I'm not going to sit here, do I think that Paddy going to be the goat, you know what I'm saying, and beat Oliveira at 155 and then go up to 170 and beat Usman. I don't know about that. All I know is, and we don't have to know about that, too many people, all the haters, they focus on all the wrong things. Oh, well, he ain't gonna do this. Oh, she ain't gonna do that. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Stop hating. Yeah, too many haters in this game. There's not many great things in the world. I'm not saying I'm not saying we should sit here and suck everyone off, but I'm saying, for what it's worth, to sit back and enjoy it. These two individuals are going in there and leaving it all out there. Paddy, who ain't even known to be a striker, came out, guns flying. Not coming out, oh wait there a minute, I've got a big crowd here, my arse is twitching a little bit, let me sit back and twitch. No, he come out, gun slinging. He said he was coming out there to represent his friend who had passed away and the little boy who had passed away, and he did that. Yeah, I salute that. Molly McCann, same kind of shtick, I've done videos on her before. Molly McCann exposing the whole of boxing. All the big, buff, overdue boxers, heavyweight boxers, or boxers in general, but people like Anthony Johnston, people like Dillian White, talk. Oh, I'm not paid enough. $7 million, and you didn't land one punch in a fight. And you had no ambition. You come out there and try and box with a man twice your size. Guess what? Molly McCann spends her whole career fighting people bigger than her. She come out and get straight on it. Why couldn't someone explain to me, why couldn't Dillian have come out and done what Molly McCann did? Explain to me. Dillian's supposed to be the big Brixton hard man. Oh, I'm from Brixton. I'm really hard. I'm from the streets. Why is it then a female, a woman, a small woman at that, 125-pound woman, why is it she can come out and get stuck in and get hot on it, but people like Anthony Johnston, people like Bumilly and Shite have to have their ass twitching and moan, oh, I'm not getting paid enough. Oh, I hope the fans enjoyed that. AJ, after he lost to Usyk, came out and said, I hope the fans enjoyed that one. What the fuck? Hope the fans enjoyed that one? I'll tell you what the fans enjoyed. The fans enjoyed seeing Paddy come out and show up and win the fight, and Molly show up and win the fight. And to be honest, even if they hadn't won the fight, we ain't asked for that. We asked for you to show up and leave it all out there. These two cats, time and time again. Oh, but why? But Paddy got dropped. He get up. He gets to carry on cracking on. Yeah, that's all you can ask for. We can't ask for no one to be completely iron-chinned. In fact, to be honest with you, being iron-chinned's overrated. It's what you do after that. That's what I've learned. I used to say things like, oh, Tyson Fury got no chin. Well, guess what? He get up. Oops. Yeah, what's the point of having a whole bunch of chin and you get clipped and you don't want no more? Yeah? Oh, I've got a good chin, but I get punched by Usyk in the first round and I don't want no anymore. Who's that good for? No one. That's the answer to that. Yeah? These two individuals, they're carrying the UK fight scene right now. I'm talking boxing as well. Who else you got? Oh, what, Conor Benn? Oh, my name's Conor Benn. I'm my dad's son, and you know I'm gonna fight a dude 2 times bigger than me just because it's for the money. I'm trying to hear about Conor Benn. These two, Paddy Pimblett, 100% French thing, bougie French thing, yeah. Paddy Pimblett and Molly McCann, they're carrying the UK fight game on their shoulders. I'm just hoping right now. I really am hoping that they don't get carried away. Because I remember McGregor. Yeah. And yeah, McGregor wasn't... I mean, it's the same kind of vibe though, isn't it? I mean, even Darren Till to a lesser extent. These two, in my opinion, McCann and Paddy, they're bigger than Till already, in my opinion. In terms of the hype, but... Obviously, they're not quite on McGregor's level yet, but McGregor at the start, he had this... And even, to be honest, even McGregor wasn't for the people like these two appear to be. Do you know what I'm saying? McGregor would kind of... He'd get... I believe, on hindsight now, I believe McGregor used the whole Irish bandwagon as a marketing ploy. He knew that, you know what, the Irish people are loyal. Yeah, you know what I mean? They'll support me. Guess what? Ever since McGregor came on top, what have you seen him? What have you heard him or seen him do? Nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. McGregor was all, yeah, we're for one for all and all that kind of stuff. One for me and one for all. Giving it all them different sayings. And then, where he been? When he got put, I mean, when he was broke or whatever, well, he's never been broke, he was always middle class, but whenever he wasn't a millionaire, yeah, or super duper hot, oh yeah, for the people. Where's he been for the last 5 years that he's been on? Don't no one know. Oh, I'm on the yacht. And, you know, I don't rate that. Oh, I'm for the people, and the next thing you know, they're always, oh, I'm on a yacht, in my Rolls Royce. I just find that cringy, man. Again, if you got a Rolls Royce, if you got a yacht, yeah, good for you. But don't be saying about how you're for the people and then you're stunting all over the place. Oh, YB, what are you talking about? That's motivational. Ain't no one trying to see that. We know rich people have nice things. No one needs to know that anymore. We get it. Fucking hell. Oh, YB, it's motivational. Shut up, man. I ain't trying to hear about motivational. Yeah? We don't need to know you got nice flashy things. Because it implies that, oh, look at me, I'm special. I'm super duper special. Ooh, look at me, I'm shit hot. You weren't saying that when you was flat broke. Yeah? In fact, they say things like, oh, I don't need money. You know what I mean? And one of them ones. That's what I don't like. It's the fact that it can be hypocritical at times. But anyway, the reason I tell you that is to say that I just hope that these two, and I got a good feeling about them, but you just never know, do you? I had a good feeling about McTapper as well. I'd have bet good money. Nah, man, McTapper's way too real. He's way too principled. Next thing we know, he's on the coke, and he doing the sniff, and he off the molly, doing all kind of... I mean, just fell off. The guy just fell off, man. McGregor fell off. It all went to his head. And if there was anyone at the time, if you go back and watch old tapes from 2012 and 2011, 2013 of McTapper, yeah. If there was... Honestly, in terms of the fight game, if there was someone who's more... I would have bet no one was more grounded than that man in 2012. A proper, solid, grounded individual. And guess what? A bit of fame. You know what I mean? He just completely lost the plot. So you just never know. But I do have a good feeling about Paddy. Paddy seems to have a... Oh, I was about to say Paddy seems to have a long-term girlfriend and all them kind of things, or a fiancé or whatever. That will help keep him grounded. But guess what? McTapper had all that as well. McTapper had D. And guess what? It didn't stop him going to doing God knows what. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just hoping that they look at McGregor as something, as what not to do. Yeah? Don't use the people as a springboard. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do have a much better feeling about this one. I do have a much better feeling about Paddy. I don't know, he feels a lot more genuine to me, but... Well, time will only tell, obviously. I'm just saying, use McGregor as a cautionary tale. Now, some people will say, YB, what are you talking about? How can McGregor be a cautionary tale? He's worth 100 million. Yeah, well, I ain't talking about how much money he made. I'm talking about how... Look at the guy. Yeah, beating up old people. I mean, if you'd told me in 2013 he'd have punched an old man, I'd have told you a liar. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That's what it does to you. Apparently, that's what fame does. People just lose their barnet. Yeah? People lose their barnet over fame and some coins. So, 100% stay locked in. And I've got to be honest with you. Speaking technically, Paddy's BJJ game is top level. And he's only getting better. He's had a whole bunch of experience in Cage Warriors. So he just needs to stay locked in, disciplined, keep your head down, and keep chugging away. Because I'm not being funny. People like Charles Oliveira, yeah, here's a great example. Charles Oliveira lost like a whole bunch at the start of his career. He was really a nobody. He only came on a few years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? So you just never know. At this particular point in time, do I think Paddy Pimblett can be world champion next week? No. But the guy's only 27. A lot of these UFC cats, they seem to peak a lot later. So 5 years from now, who knows? Do you know what I mean? So what you got to do is stay locked in and don't fall off. Because look at McGregor. He couldn't stay locked in and he fell off. Even Darren Till, to some extent, he fell off. Lost the plot. Got way too caught up in the sauce. And now he's trying to follow Hamzat around the place like some lost puppy. No good. stay locked in, stay true. That's one thing I do respect McGregor for to some extent, is the fact that he stayed with his team. But then again, his team are all yes men. Yeah? Because John Kavanagh should have put his foot down and said, you know what, McGregor, I'm not having you in my gym when you're doing a whole bunch of madness. Yes, I want to work with you. Yes, we've had a great run. Yes, I think you're really talented. But I'm not having this. I'm not going to encourage your skullduggery. John Kavanagh and everyone else could have said that. Instead, oh, well, he's the money man. Keep her head down. Yeah, that's what I don't rate. So hopefully, unlike McGregor's team, Paddy Pimblett's team, and I think Paddy's more of the risk. I think Molly's older. Well, I assume she's older, but she just seems a bit more seasoned. Paddy's like obviously the male of males. It's a lot different for men. Men, in the main, well, it is different for men. Women mature. We know that already. Women mature a lot earlier than men. So it's the risk really. I think Molly's got a solid head on her, and I actually think Molly could do with going down a weight. Truth be known, Molly at 115. Imagine that. I mean, she's taking heads off at 125 now. Again, similar to Paddy. I'm not saying. Do I think Molly gonna go in there and mosh about Shevchenko tomorrow? No. But you never know, do you? You never know. Because a lot of these technical guys, yeah, what happens when you stick one on them? Look at, for example, and I'm not saying Cody Garbrandt is the same as Shevchenko, but I'm just putting it out there. Cody Garbrandt was a super technical striker. He got clipped. You know what I mean? Shevchenko, super technical striker. What happens when she got Molly Mike Tyson all up in her grill? Especially a few years down the line when Molly has a bit more seasoning. I don't think there's no rush. I'd like to see this whole London thing. I'd like to see this whole UFC Fight Night London. I mean, who even knows? I'm not being funny, it won't be long, and they'll be doing a UFC London pay-per-view card, I'd have thought. Certainly when one of these two fights for a world championship, I'd have thought it will be on pay-per-view. Maybe they'll do it in the US though. Although that's what I mean, that's why I'm not in a rush. I think that the UFC should carry on building this UFC London business. There's no point going out there and feeding these two individuals at the moment to the champions. I'd like to see this carry on building for another 2 years. Personally speaking. 2 years, fight a couple times a year, keep it building. Why would you kill the golden goose? Plus, Paddy's certainly, 27? He ain't got through. I mean, he could build for another 3 years and still be considered young. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see, that's one thing I do potentially feel, and it's not all Dana's fault. Obviously, as an athlete, you want to achieve. But I do feel to some extent, and Till was limited anyway, but still, Till, he was on a super fast track, wasn't he? It was kind of like, and I remembered him at the time talking about fast track. And good management and good promotions, they know, yeah, the fighters, I mean, if you told Paddy tomorrow, do you want Oliveira, he'd say, yeah. That's what a good manager does. A good manager says, you know what, sit down somewhere, relax yourself, Oliveira ain't going nowhere. Or to Darren Till, Tyron Woodley ain't going nowhere. Sit down and let's stew. Rather than saying, well, we're 2 fights out from a world championship. What for? What's the point going there now? Keep building this market. And to be honest, as long as you're getting stoppages and as long as it's exciting, most people need a world championship, yeah, because they're boring. That's the bottom line. Most people need a world championship. That's what makes them, innit? Not being funny, the reason most people strive to become world champion is because that's what they perceive to be the money. Okay, well, I'm boring, I don't sell no tickets, I best become champion then, because that'll solve all my things. And many times we find out that it don't work. People get mad, I'm not making no money, because you're boring. So for people who aren't boring, you don't need to rush to the world championship. Do I want to see Paddy compete for world championship ultimately? Absolutely. Just there's no point rushing there. And all the haters, he needs to do this tomorrow. And obviously, the reason the haters are saying he needs to do it tomorrow is because they want to see him lose. And they want to bring him down to their dead-ass level. And I get it, I've been a hater before. I know what it's like. It cuts you deep. You think, damn, I want to be living like that. Yeah? I want him to come down to my level, dead level. I get it, I know exactly how you feel. But me personally, this is better than not. It's better than not, and like I said, man, Paddy's, I'm not going to lie to you, I ain't a BJJ expert, I'm not a wrestling expert, but, man, the way they explain this part here, if you can see with my cursor, from what I understand, this part here, he was able, because initially, before this choke got put on, Leavitt, yeah, Daniel Leavitt, yeah, 100%. I mean, Tom, what's his name? Tom, not sure, but either way, Mr. Leavitt, initially, for about a minute, he was actually fighting the hands, and Paddy kind of lured him into this whole structure here. So essentially, initially, Leavitt had 2 hands, and that enabled him to prevent Paddy sinking it in deep. But then somehow, I didn't even see it. That's what I mean. Paddy a bit of a magician on the ground. Because somehow he ended up getting his hand trapped there. And that's obviously what opened it all up. But that's, I mean, again, I'm not saying, is this the best BJJ move of ever? I wouldn't know if it was or if it wasn't. I ain't got a clue about BJJ. I'm just saying, I like that one. I mean, from what I've seen, I haven't seen everyone be able to do that all of the time. Apparently, this is one of Paddy's specialities. So I don't know how good he is on the ground. I wouldn't mind seeing him, as a test obviously, I wouldn't mind seeing him in his off-season or whatever, compete in some BJJ tournaments, just to get that's just for my selfish purposes, trying to get a gauge on how really good he is. Some people say he's the best thing ever. I don't know. I don't know how you even score it. Unless you're actually doing BJJ competitions, I don't know how you would say someone's better than someone else. Obviously, if your name's McGregor, you know McGregor ain't got no ground game, but that's because you don't see any. From what I see from Paddy, man, he doing well, and it's particularly in this day and age. If you got an elite level, if you can do one thing elitely, you can kind of build the other two around it. Because for most people, initially, Leavitt, he wanted to try and wrestle with Paddy, and we saw how that worked out. I ain't gonna lie, Paddy definitely lost the first round. He came out swinging. He did get caught with a few silly shots on the feet, and that's what does worry me. If you actually go back and watch most of Paddy's fights, the bit where it's edgy, it's weird as well. I mean, his hands are alright. His hands, when he's throwing them, aren't too bad. It's everything else around it. Kind of like his beak's always in the air. His whiskers are always in the air. Obviously, the fact his barnet's all floppy don't help, because when he does get hit, his old barnet goes in the air. So it's all it's one of them ones. The optics don't look great, but when he's throwing his hands look, his technique and his straight shots aren't awful. But like I said, it's everything around that. When he's on the feet, at points it can look like an accident waiting to happen. And at the moment, he hasn't fought no out and out striking killers. But like I've explained, man, they ain't going nowhere, are they? The top guys ain't going nowhere in a rush. I'd like to see some more of these ones. Obviously, keep stepping them up, but step up slowly. There's no point burning him out. Look at Till. Darren Till right now is broken. Yeah? Never be the same. What's the point in that? There's no point rushing there, and Darren Till really was never the same, was he? Let's be real now. He was never the same after Woodley. More or less. Or certainly, he ain't do nothing after that, did he? The World Championship, in my opinion, should be seen as the last step. That's the last thing you do. I don't think most people want to get there quickly. Oh, I need to get there. No rush. Sit back, relax. And the last thing I'll say on this topic is, with Molly, I may have mentioned it earlier, but I do think she should go down, or should attempt to at least, maybe for one fight or whatever, see how she feels. I do think she could be a lot more deadly at 115. Because from what I've seen, she's always small in there. And if you look at her opponent at the weekend, her opponent was lean and ripped, and True Geordie said, she looked juiced. But the point is, Molly's always, and it might just be her body composition. Women do tend to hold more body fat naturally, but the point is, people like Shevchenko, people like Molly's opponent at the weekend, they're dry and whatever else. Molly does look like she's quite soft. And when you're quite soft, that's dead weight. You can go down. I mean, the point is, imagine Molly, yeah, with that kind of ferocity, running into. I mean, she's knocking out people her own size. Imagine if she's running into people now, 115, a whole weight division below. It's going to be, well, you'd like to think it. And who knows? Sometimes there's a trade-off. Sometimes you say, well, if I go down, cut weight, I'm going to lose that edge. I'm going to lose that energy. So you have to work out. But I'm just saying, I'm not a historian. I'm not someone who's looked into it extensively. Maybe she's been at 115. For all I know, 5 years ago, she was at 115 and she's moved up. If that's the case, then scrap what I've said. But if she's been a career 125, I think I'd like to see her at 115 in the UFC. Give it a run. Leaner. And see if you can rock some of these girls' worlds at 125, imagine what you'll do at 115. Go in there and just, you know what I'm saying, Mark MJ style, proper rock their world. But yeah, man, I love the whole... I wouldn't normally talk about UFC, but this whole thing, this whole shtick this weekend, it's brought me on board for sure. I ain't going to cover no more of the UFC, but... Well, there's certain guys, to be fair. Hamzat's a guy I'm following at the moment, and now Paddy and Molly McCann. They're the ones that I'm feeling right now. And really, it's just underlying characteristic of wanting to get it. Do you know what I'm saying? Smash, 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 as Hamzat would say. That's all people want to see. It's not really too difficult. And obviously, it's easy for me to say as a civilian. It's not too difficult. I'm just calling a spade a spade. If you want to smash, you smash, and people want to tune in to watch you smash, 100%. Yeah, but salute to Paddy, salute to Molly. Keep your head on. Don't get too carried away with the sauce. I see the whole Drake thing, and the thing about, I'm going to say this now, it's all, and again, obviously they can do what they want. I'm not saying, would I do anything different? I ain't saying I am, but I'm just saying, a lot of these guys, yeah, like Drake and that, all these new friends, yeah, when you start losing, you know, it's one of them ones. That's what you got to bear in mind. All these new friends, Drake and that, Drake's one of them guys, he always popping up. That's why they call it the Drake curse. Drake always pop up on whoever's hot. When you ain't hot, when you can't, and Drake at the moment, he's got a big brand deal with stake.com, which is big gambling thing. So, you know, it all linked into that. Drake's probably made X amount of millions at the weekend, linking in his stake sponsorship, his gambling sponsorship with this whole event. Do you understand? So you got people ain't, I know that people don't like to think it, but it's true, people ain't. End of the day, take Drake's own advice. No new friends, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially cabal celebrity friends, the worst kind. Yeah, they ain't genuine. Because if they was, when you was a nobody, they'd have been in your DMs. Anyway, let's be real now. If he really cared about you, where was he when you was down bad? You know where to be found. Drake was nowhere. Now you're hot. He want to be all in the video. That's no good. Cabal, 100%. But yeah, keep your head on your shoulders. No new friends. Yeah, because McGregor's McGregor one of them guys as well. Oh, I'm at all the music awards. You know what I mean? He's one of them ones. McGregor, that guy. Oh, I'm going to the Oscars and all that kind of stuff. Zesty guy. No good. McGregor's no good. Fake. Yeah, don't go out like McGregor. Stay real. Stay at home. And that's another thing with McGregor. McGregor spend all his time in America now. Do you know what I'm saying? He's one of them ones. McGregor live in LA or whatever. Don't be that guy. It might work. That's my opinion. You can do what you want. Yeah, I'm just saying. Stay in Liverpool. Or wherever it's from, I'm not sure, but that part there, stay grounded. Don't allow your team to become yes men either. That's another thing. Don't let your head get too big. A lot of these guys like McGregor, their barnet gets way too blown out of size, and they start thinking that no one can tell them anything. And a lot of times, people who do tell you the truth, you kick out of the camp. Don't be that guy either. Wait there, someone's giving me some hard advice. He need to go. Yeah, people like Mike Tyson, people like Conor McGregor, they're the ones who kick out anyone who tells them good, wholesome advice. Yeah, I don't want to see him no more. And Floyd, all them ones, no good. Yeah, don't be that guy either. Stay humble. You know what I mean? Listen, who am I to speak? I'm just saying how I see it, because this thing can really win, lose or draw. No, really, that's the thing. It really is. Obviously, it's gonna have more buzz when you're winning, but I mean, Molly had a loss here a little while ago. You really, in this game, you're only as good as your last entertaining win. As long as you're not boring, it's going to work. But yeah, salute these guys. Stay locked in. Stay disciplined. Stay working hard. And the world's their oyster, 100%.